Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Katie. I'm not going to talk too much because we're going to get right into it. It's a really exciting weekend. We are going to Chicago right now to go to Lollapalooza just for one night. We are in our 30s after all. We can't do the full 4 days anymore. Lollapalooza for one night, followed by a horror convention. The next day, that's a horror movie convention, followed by my friend from Australia is in town. So he got sent to Chicago for a week-long conference. So we're going to try and meet up with him. I can't promise he'll want to be on the vlog, but I'm really excited to show him around in between his conference. He doesn't have a ton of free time, but it's going to be great. So it is Thursday right now. This is the day we have our Lollapalooza tickets. We are going to the city. Where I live is pretty close to Chicago. It's not in Chicago, and it's not even technically a suburb, but it's close enough I can take a train. Normally, we would just take the train down there and stay in the city. But because of Lollapalooza, which is probably the biggest event in Chicago each year, probably, arguably, hotel prices are insane. We looked, it was $1,000 a night. $1,000 a night to stay in downtown Chicago because of Lollapalooza. To give you reference, that's about 5 times more than we would normally pay, maybe even 6 times. Chicago is usually a very affordable city compared to other big cities. So instead, we are staying with my aunt who lives in one of the outer suburbs. Now, again, we live close enough to Chicago where we could take the train and come back, but because we're going for a late night music festival and then tomorrow we have the horror movie convention, it's a big hassle to go take the train into the city. The train only comes every 2 hours because it's not super close. It's about a 1.5 hour train ride. The train goes every 2 hours. So we'd have to take the train to the city, leave at like 11 p.m. If we're lucky, we catch the train or we wait for up to 2 hours, take it back just to go back again. So we're staying with my aunt in a suburb, one of the outer suburbs, and it's going to be a great weekend. I haven't been back to Chicago aside from like, quick pop-ins in a while. Chicago is probably my favorite city in the world. It has my heart, and I'm going to show you all the fun stuff there is. We will at some point in this vlog go back to Chicago just to experience it properly in terms of like exploring the city, going to my favorite restaurants, bars, etc. We won't have time for that really too much this weekend because it's jam-packed with all of the stuff, but it's going to be great. So we're going to my aunt's house. Let's go. Hi from Chicago. We took the train down. We're in Millenium Park right now. Here's the fit for Lolla. I had to throw it together very quickly, but we've got like a Levi vest, thrifted skirt, wristband. That's what we're working with, really. We're just gonna vibe. It's about 2:45 right now. We don't really want to go into Lolla yet, probably till about 5 even. We're not super, he just made it look at me like, what? We don't want to go in quite soon. We want to just vibe a little bit because we're not gonna party, you know what I mean? We're just here to enjoy and like stay in the back and relax a little bit. So we're just gonna walk around. We love Chicago. Granted, this isn't like a Chicago expiration day, but let me show you Millenium Park just a little bit and then we'll go into Lolla.
They actually dye it yellow.
He's a Chicago expert.
They do, you know why?
Why?
Because yellow and blue makes green.
Oh. That's John Hancock with the 2.
you're gonna be able to hear this at all. We're going to see Gracie Abrams sitting gently off to the back. We're not trying to get in the pit, but we're gonna go get a spot for Gracie Abrams. It's so crowded, as expected. Jesus. Nice weather though.
Why do you sound drunk?
I'm not sure. This is water. This is water, by the way. We're just leaving Lollapalooza. We didn't stay for the entire thing. We're missing Dom Dalla, but because we have to stay at our aunt's house, my aunt's house, we have to catch the train, and if we miss this train because it's late night, the next one doesn't come for a while. So we're heading back to her house, and then we're back in town tomorrow morning, because we do have to be back tomorrow morning to see our Australian friend before his flight back to Melbourne. Whew. But it was so much fun. We saw Gracie Abrams. She brought out Robin to do dancing on my own, which was so good. We saw Royal Otis. Briefly Role Model, but Role Model was packed. Like, we really couldn't hear much, see much, because it was so far back. Yeah, just so much fun. Yeah, it was a lot, but it's definitely different than when I was like 21. It's definitely different. But I couldn't talk too much. Just checking in. Chicago day 2. Oh, Express to downtown. Oh, it's Express. That's good. That's really good. Okay. Chicago day 2. We are so tired. We left probably, I think we caught the 9:32 train last night, but we are up really early because our friend is in town from Australia, but we only overlap by this little bit, and he has to go to the airport at noon today. So it's 9 a.m. We're gonna try and get breakfast with him, and then we have our horror movie convention later, so we've got a little bit of time to kill. So potentially museum, architecture boat tour, I don't know. But let me show you the horror movie convention outfit. I love this top. It's from Bangkok. It's fog chalk, and I just feel like it's the scariest thing I have. Scary, not really scary, but how are we feeling about our Chicago trip, Ben?
Tired.
He's tired. We're tired. We're tired. We're going to Little Goat Diner right now in Southport Corridor. This area is where I used to live. One of the neighborhoods I used to live in anyways, because I lived in a few, but one of my favorite, though it has been built up a lot more than when I was here. But we're going to this diner called Little Goat Diner. It's not like a traditional American diner. It's much more modern. It's run by a really famous Chicago chef though, Stephanie Izzard, who does Girl on the Goat. If you're ever in Chicago, check out Girl on the Goat. Sorry for the noises, we're on the street. But yeah, Girl on the Goat. She runs Girl on the Goat, and then she started this diner. There it is.
Hi, camera.
So we just got back from seeing Sam. We dropped him off on the Blue Line, which is the train line back to the airport. It was really nice to see him. I couldn't obviously record too much because I don't know, I wasn't really gonna whip out a camera and be like, everybody like perform. But we showed him around Wrigleyville, which is where the famous Wrigley Field Cubs Stadium is. Got brunch. Just walked around, looked at the houses. Now Ben and I are kind of wasting a little bit of time before our convention. I just love being back in Chicago. It's just such a great city. I just love it. It just feels right, you know? I showed everybody the apartment where I used to live, my old neighborhood. It's just great. Anyways, here's more of Millenium Park. We're at the horror convention. It's called Flashback Weekend. I'm not feeling great. I'm feeling really unwell and sick and nauseous all of a sudden. So we're just gonna walk around for a little bit, see how I feel. There is like a YouTuber, I may have mentioned it earlier, but that we really like, so we really want to meet them. But other than that, I make no promises that I'll stick around, which is sad because we had planned to be here for a while, but anyways.